Hey everybody, completed grading for week one, and I just wanted to provide some kind of tips and information that might help you be successful as you move into week two. And these are just kind of common things that maybe you didn't get wrong in the first week, but I found it's very valuable to share this sort of thing with everybody up front. That way you're at least aware of it and don't make that mistake in subsequent weeks. Okay, so overall for the first week, I felt like everybody did a pretty good job. Couple things to think about. Just remember with those discussion threads, have that initial post up by Wednesday, peer replies Sunday by the end of the day. And again, what we're looking to do here is emulate the classroom environment as if we were all sitting in a face-to-face classroom where we would have back and forth discussion. So as you engage in the discussion, what you need to do is be active in the discussion. So in other words, don't just drop your initial post on Wednesday, then come back Sunday at 10, 11 o'clock at night, make 2 peer replies and be done. Okay, try and drive active discussion. Okay, the other thing is let's have some respective discourse. So what I mean by that is when I go through the discussion threads every time I teach this class, a lot of times what I commonly see is I agree, and then basically you just kind of go on to recite some of the same stuff that person has posted. I know we don't all agree on everything, so it makes it a lot more interesting if we challenge each other's viewpoints, and I'll be doing that as well, looking at your viewpoints and essentially playing devil's advocate, if you will. So I'll look to challenge some of your positions, and because I do, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily wrong. It's just I'm looking to get you to that next level of thought. Okay? Then, of course, application assignments will always be due Sunday as well. So a few things on the application assignments, and then also this applies to that initial post that you make in the discussion thread. Okay, respective to APA format, some things I noticed this week. First of all, anytime you use an acronym in APA, so something, for example, like HIPAA, okay, you can use that acronym just as HIPAA, but the first time you do, you actually need to define it. Okay, so you need to spell out Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and then put HIPAA in parentheses, and then every subsequent time you use it, you can just use the acronym, which saves a great deal of time. So that's true with any acronym. Okay, next, use level 1 headings at a minimum. In your work. Okay, so remember, level 1 headings are bold, they're centered. Okay, your heading for your reference page is also considered a level 1 heading, so it needs to be the same font size, style, and type as your level 1 heading. Okay. Also, you want to strive for a mix when you cite your sources of direct citation and indirect citation. So also, when you find your sources, look for sources that really support the writing. Okay, look for stuff that is peer-reviewed, that really has some depth to it. At the graduate level, you want to avoid things like stuff from Wikipedia and just like general fact sheets and that sort of thing. Try to go for that next level in Bloom's taxonomy. Okay. A couple other things I saw in APA is number 1, use of first-person pronouns. You want to remove the use of first-person pronouns when you're writing in APA. Okay, it should all be that third-person voice. Okay. And then also contractions. In APA style writing, contractions are considered a diction error, so you want to remove that in the formal writing. Now, when you're replying to peers in the discussion threads, I'm not as big of a stickler on that because, again, we are trying to facilitate back and forth dialogue. But in that initial post and in those application papers, definitely avoid the contractions, the first person, that sort of thing. I didn't see too much of it this week, but as we get into some of the other papers in this class, one thing I commonly see is some people will tend to start statements with I think, I feel, I believe. Wrong subject to be doing that. Okay, in this area, you definitely don't want to start with opinion-based statements. Take a position. Okay, so remove that first-person pronoun I. Okay, and definitely don't say I think, I feel, I believe. Okay, you'll use that in comp classes and creative writing, but not here. So take a position, use your sources to support it, and you're in good shape. Okay, and then last, just a quick reminder that specific to the due dates, especially with those discussion threads, discussions cannot be turned in after the week closes. Okay, so make every effort to get that in on time. And the reason why those can't be made up is, once we close the week, everyone moves on to the next week. So if you were to go back the day after the week closes, the following Monday, and try and post in the prior week, the likelihood of your peers going back to look at that is slim to none because we've already moved on to the next week. But again, like I said, overall saw some good work this week. I've commented in both your discussions and then also your application papers in my effort to try and get stuff graded quickly. Sometimes I might not give you enough context, or if something isn't completely clear, just reach out, just drop me a note. I'm happy to talk through it with you and be sure that you fully understand the feedback. But definitely do read through all of that and be sure you understand it so that you can continue to capture more points as the semester goes on. It's always painful for me to see students continue to lose points over the same thing. So if you're unclear, reach out to me and we'll get it straightened out and move forward. So have a great week, everybody.